One day, Tomo confesses to her best friend that she loves him, but Jun sees her as a boy, and he thinks she loves him as a friend. The next day in class, Tomo tells her friend Misuzu about the failed love confession, and she says she is not surprised because since childhood, Tomo has refused to play girls' games and she has only played boys' sports. But Tomo doesn't want it to go on like this, so Misuzu advises her to speak more softly, like a girl. After that, Tomo goes to talk to Jun, and she tries to lower her voice, but he says she sounds like an old man, which angers the girl, who punches him. When she returns home, her father sees that she has bruises on her cheek and asks her if she lost against Jun again, and she points out that she is a girl. The next day, Jun continues to insist that Tomo forgive him since she is ignoring him, and when he tells her that he cannot be another second without her, she forgives him. At lunchtime, Misuzu forces Jun to eat with them, because she thinks it's ridiculous that Tomo and Jun don't eat together, but this makes Tomo even more nervous. Jun's friend Tanabe asks him about his relationship with Tomo, but he thinks he means the karate lessons. After school, Misuzu finds Jun waiting since it's raining. They both wait for Tomo since she is the only one with an umbrella. Misuzu asks Jun why he hasn't joined the karate club, and he says that he already trains at Tomo's dojo, and he is not interested in joining clubs where they are separated, since he would be separated from Tomo. Misuzu asks Jun what he will do when Tomo has a boyfriend, which makes Jun angry and pushes her out into the rain. When Tomo arrives, Jun wants her to share her umbrella with him. Tomo doesn't want to walk with him because she is sweaty and possibly stinks. But Jun comes up to her and tells her that she smells good. She is so embarrassed that she runs away without worrying about getting wet, and when Jun joins her, he sees that her shirt is completely stuck to her body, and for the first time, he notices her big heels, so this time, it is he who runs away. The next day, Tomo attends the karate club, but she is so strong and fierce that she is transferred to the boys' club, and the captain of the team, Kosuke, he immediately develops a crush on her. Tomo is happy because he sees her as a girl, so they get along so well, which awakens the jealousy of the other girls who are in love with Kosuke. The next day, Misuzu tells Jun that Tomo has a new friend, which annoys him. When he sees Tomo, he asks her about this new friend, and she shows him a picture of him, and Kosuke is so handsome that Jun thinks he is a girl, and his worries vanish. He asks her how she would feel if Misuzu had a boyfriend and did not spend time with her, so Tomo says she would be a little lonely, and Jun agrees. Later, Tomo tells Misuzu that some girls want to fight with her, and Misuzu tells her that the girls want to fight verbally, not with fists, and in a cold voice, she says that if they say something bad to her, she herself will ruin them socially. In the afternoon, Tomo meets those girls, and they are scared since they found out that Tomo is very rude. But they quickly clarify that they want to talk about Kosuke. The atmosphere changes completely, and Tomo is happy because finally someone wants to apologize to her. One day on the bus, Tomo sits next to an old man. Jun immediately understands what's going on, so he grabs the mischievous old man and hands him over to the authorities. Tomo then tells Misuzu what happened. Misuzu is worried about her friend, but Tomo calms her down by telling her that Jun is taking care of her. Misuzu then asks her why she wears her school skirt so short with shorts underneath, and Tomo tells her that it is easier to move around. Misuzu tells Tomo that she should take off her shorts and wear a skirt like all girls. Just as Misuzu expected, Jun is surprised to see Tomo's long legs without the shorts, so he tries not to look at her and protect her from the stares of the other male perverts. Unfortunately for Tomo, a gust of wind lifts her skirt, and Jun faints from the heavenly sight. The next day, Misuzu teases Jun because Tomo told her what happened. Later, when Tomo and Misuzu talk, they see Carol surrounded by boys. Carol is like the school idol. She is cute, adorable, blonde, a little silly, and has lived in England for a while. In the afternoon, Tomo meets Kosuke and Carol. She tells Tomo that they are engaged, and she thinks Tomo is a boy. But Kosuke tells Carol that Tomo is a girl. This confuses Carol, who immediately becomes jealous. Then Tomo tells Misuzu about the situation, who realizes that Carol is jealous of Kosuke and Tomo's friendship. The next day, Carol talks to Misuzu and tells her that she wants to defeat Tomo. This gives Misuzu an idea. She wants June and Tomo to be together as a couple, so she tells Carol what to do. Misuzu's plan is for Carol to ask June to train her to defeat a girl, and he agrees, but he quickly realizes that she is not athletic at all. When Tomo finds out that Carol is being trained by June, she asks him to tell her why he is with Carol. Carol realizes that Tomo has feelings for June, so she informs Tomo that she is no longer her enemy. June reveals that he dated Misuzu in the past, leaving Tomo speechless. Tomo brings Misuzu to the rooftop and she asks her about her past relationship with June. Misuzu tells her that they dated in 2nd grade for 3 days. June asked her out on a date, and the next day he made her walk 40 kilometers. She was determined to break up with him, but he beat him to it, and broke up with her first. Later, June and Tomo meet Kusuke at the school gate, and June finally realizes that Kusuke is a boy, and reflexively hits him, but Tomo forces him to apologize. June challenges him to a karate match, and beats him with all his might, which makes Tomo even more angry. June asks Tomo why she is friends with the captain of the boys' club, and he cannot believe it when Tomo tells him that she was transferred to the boys' club. He is not a member of that club, because he thought he would be separated from Tomo. After school, June has to go home alone, because Tomo has decided to spend time with her friends. June meets Kusuke, and they both talk about how amazing Tomo is. But the good time ends, and June threatens Kusuke that he must not tell Tomo what they talked about. In the afternoon, Misuzu tries to convince Tomo to ask June for a date without it being a date, but she is not sure. The next day, Tomo asks June if he wants to spend the weekend with her. June gladly accepts because they haven't spent time alone together for a long time. Carol and Misuzu force Tomo to go shopping, since Tomo only has boys' clothes. So the two girls put together an outfit for Tomo, a feminine outfit, but with masculine touches, so she doesn't feel uncomfortable. The weekend comes, and June notices Tomo changing, but he says nothing, and they go bowling and karaoke. Tomo feels very uncomfortable, and she doesn't know where to start. June says that since they were kids, she always took the initiative to do foolish things, and he always followed her because he always had fun in the end. So Tomo thinks they should just have fun, so she starts singing children's songs. Tomo's friends can't believe that instead of singing love songs, Tomo sings children's songs for 3 hours, while Jun can't stop watching the video. One day, Tomo tells Misuzu that she wishes she could be more clingy with her friends. They have known each other since they were children because their mothers have been best friends since they were teenagers. So Misuzu tries to find a solution and sends Carol to hug Tomo, but she is too clingy. As days go by, Misuzu seems worried, but only Tomo notices, because to others, Misuzu is her usual grumpy self. Tomo apologizes to her and starts hugging her, but Tomo is so strong that Misuzu immediately regrets it. She asks Tomo why she is never clingy to June when he is super clingy to her, and Tomo confesses that she never noticed that. After school, Tomo hugs June from behind, and he is so surprised that he tells her she can't do that. Then Tomo complains that he always does it with her, but he says only he can do it, so she punches him as usual. One Saturday morning, June wakes Tomo up and she cannot believe that he is in her room. He apologizes, saying that her father sent him to wake her up. The screams wake Tomo's mother, and she is as frightened as Tomo. Then they have a nutritious breakfast prepared by Tomo, and June asks where her father is. So her mother, Akemi, she replies that he is always in the dojo because he is still shy with her, even though they have been married for years. To prove it, she goes to the dojo with them, and as soon as her husband sees her, he blushes. Tomo tells June that her father has always acted this way with her mother, and she thinks it's pathetic. But June asks her if it is wrong for a boy to act lovingly with a girl. She feels uncomfortable, so he ends up agreeing. One afternoon, Tomo's friends ask her for help. It turns out that the leader of a gang of boys wants to date Owala, and it's said that the girls who reject him because he is an idiot. So Tomo accompanies the girls to talk to this boy. Because the boy inappropriately insists on dating Owala, Tomo gives him what he deserves, and she breaks his ribs with a kick. The boy then rallies his gang to attack Tomo together, but June confronts them and gives them what they deserve. He forces the entire gang to apologize on their knees to Tomo for planning to attack her. Then, Carol invites Misuzu and Tomo to stay with her for the weekend, and she draws them a beautiful map to get to her house. The girls are surprised when they discover that Carol's house is a mansion. They spend the day drinking tea, looking at photos of Carol as a child and playing board games. To Misuzu and Tomo's surprise, Carol is very good at playing these clever games, which is in contrast to her personality at school. A short time later, Tomo is desperate because the next day is midterm exams and she didn't even remember. June wants to be her tutor, but Misuzu says she is number 1 in the rankings, so she takes Tomo to study with Carol at Misuzu's house. Her mother is surprised to see Tomo because she looks just like Akemi when she was a teenager and is enchanted by Carol's beauty and kindness. They go to Misuzu's room and start studying hard, but to Misuzu and Tomo's surprise, Carol is a math genius and she doesn't need help. Days later, Tomo and Jun get good results, but the surprise is that Misuzu is ranked 2nd while Carol is ranked 1st. When Jun tells Tomo that he bought a new video game, they both remember the sleepless nights they spent playing as children, so he invites her to stay at his house all night playing video games since there is no school tomorrow, and she gladly accepts. However, she realizes that she agreed to stay with him at his home, and she can't stop blushing. She tells her mother that she will spend the night with June, but she misinterprets this, and she says she will start thinking about her future grandchildren, although Tomo clarifies that they will only play video games. When she arrives at June's house, he says his parents aren't there, and she gets nervous, even though he doesn't know why she doesn't know why. After dinner, she goes to take a shower, and he almost goes into the bathroom to give her a clean towel. But she stops him, and he slaps himself for almost going into the bathroom knowing that Tomo was naked. As she dries her hair, Jun feels a little embarrassed, but pretends nothing is wrong, and they start playing video games. When she loses, he teases her, and they begin to playfully argue, but they stop when they realize he is on top of her. At night, Tomo sleeps in Jun's bed while he sleeps on the floor, so she takes advantage of the fact that he is asleep to watch his face closely. Suddenly, a sleeping June grabs her, and she cannot escape, so the two sleep together on the futon. The next morning, June wakes up. He almost faints when he realizes that he slept with Tomo in his arms. When she wakes up, he pretends to be asleep in a strange position. Later, however, Tomo finally remembers that she slept next to June on the futon. Days pass, and they cannot forget what happened. Weeks later, it's Tomo's birthday. So June gives her sunglasses, and Tomo is very happy, while Misuzu gives her books so she can study better, and Carol gives her a gold bar. Then Misuzu says that they will use the gold bar to give Tomo a makeover. In the afternoon, the 3 girls meet, and they dress Tomo in a very feminine way. They even put a wig on her, and Tomo looks completely different. So the girls send Tomo to buy them ice cream at the grocery store. The boys can't stop admiring Tomo's beauty. Even June doesn't recognize her, but when she stumbles, he helps her. Then Tomo takes courage, and she asks June to walk together for a while, even though he doesn't recognize her yet. Along the way, they stop to watch a children's soccer game, and see a girl and a boy playing on the same team. She says they are definitely best friends, which makes June wonder what she thinks will happen to those children when they grow up. Tomo says that they will get engaged, which depresses June, who says that he is in a similar situation. He notices that the ice creams are melting and Tomo runs away. She arrives at Misuzu's house and discovers that they have prepared a surprise party for her with a cake made by them. Days later, the volleyball tournament begins and Tomo is transferred to the boys' team because she is too strong to compete against the girls. June is happy to be on the same team as her and cannot contain his joy. June and Tomo's team goes through the rounds with overwhelming victories until they reach the finals, and they are a little worried because they will have to face the strongest boy in the whole school. Takeru is the captain of the judo team. Before the match starts, Takeru tells Tomo that she looks like a little fairy since she will not be able to compete with him in strength. He hits the ball so hard, he almost knocks them out. When he tries to hit Tomo with the ball, Jun stands in the way and takes the hit. This angers Tomo so much that she wins the game herself, and thus the final after the tournament. Tomo reflects on the fact that she would like things to never change between her and June, since she had so much fun playing on the same team. Meanwhile, Takeru challenges June to a contest of strength, but he is defeated again and again. Since they fight without rules, Jun doesn't consider it a victory, because he thinks he will never be able to beat Tomo in a real match, and he would like to be as strong as her. Summer vacation begins, and Jun goes out for a run, remembering the first time he met Tomo. He had just moved from Tokyo, and she approached him to play video games with him, but at that time, she was stronger than him and broke his Nintendo. Jun became so angry that he hit her, although she didn't even feel the blow. She felt bad for breaking something precious to him, so she offered to be his best friend. As time went on, their friendship grew, until Tomo introduced him to Misuzu, who at that time she was already a bit grumpy, so they didn't get along because they both wanted Tomo's friendship. One day, some thugs attacked Jun and took away his Nintendo, and he didn't tell Tomo. But she understood what had happened, and she went to confront them alone, and managed to take back Jun's Nintendo. The boy felt humiliated, because if it was the other way around, he would not have done it for her, so little Jun made a decision at that moment. That is, he gave his Nintendo to Tomo, and said he would take it back the day he was stronger than her. The next day, he began his karate lessons with Tomo's father. It has been 10 years since that promise, and to this day, he still believes he is not stronger than Tomo, while she thinks otherwise. The next day, the four of them decide to go to the beach to enjoy the sea, but Misuzu has a plan in mind. Namely, she wants Jun to see Tomo in a swimsuit, since he has never seen her without a t-shirt. Jun convinces Tomo to take off the sweatshirt covering her bikini. He is very surprised to see her knockout body, so he tries to avoid her as much as possible, because every time he sees her, he can't help but look at her. Misuzu notices this and tells Tomo that this moment is crucial and she must not let Jun go. Because Tomo is having so much fun on the beach, she unleashes her inhibitions and acts as usual with him, even though Jun is sometimes embarrassed. At the end of the day, on their way home, Misuzu teases Jun, and she tells him that it looks like he didn't have a good day at the beach. He replies that something happened. Misuzu concludes that Jun is finally realizing that Tomo is beautiful a girl. Summer vacation is coming to an end, so Misuzu and Carol convince Tomo to go to see the fireworks with Jun. The boy doesn't show the happiness he always feels when he's with Tomo, but when he's alone, he's glad to be alone with her, because their trip to the beach makes him feel strange about Tomo. The next evening, Jun waits patiently for Tomo and is surprised to see her wearing a yukata that enhances her beauty. They enjoy the summer festival until some boys harass Tomo because they think she is alone, and Jun scares them away with his gaze. Tomo tries to thank him, but he apologizes for interfering because he thinks she could have gotten rid of those boys on her own, but she reassures him that there are some things she can't do, like getting rid of annoying boys. This moves Jun, and he almost hugs her without realizing it, but regrets it at the last moment. The fireworks are about to start, and Tomo finds the courage to confess his feelings again, but she regrets it, because if he rejects her, their friendship would end, so they both watch the fireworks in silence. School starts again, but something has changed. Jun feels uncomfortable when he has to interact with Tomo. Frustrated, Tomo tells Misuzu and Carol about the new situation, and Misuzu thinks that everything is going wrong and that she has to make things right. After school, Misuzu is surrounded by idiots who want revenge because Tomo won't let them do bad things. Suddenly, Carol comes to her aid and zaps the idiot with a taser, giving them time to escape. But Carol falls into a puddle. They find an abandoned factory where they are hiding, and Misuzu calls Jun to come rescue them and telling him not to tell Tomo what is happening. This surprises Carol, but it's all Misuzu's plan. Jun wants to help the girls, but Tomo knows that something is wrong, so he has no choice but to tell her, which Kosuke overhears. They head to the factory and easily deal with the thugs as a team, and Misuzu helps Carol change her clothes as Carol is completely wet and covered in mud. But at that moment, Kosuke appears and he sees Carol, thinking the worst. As if possessed by a demon, Kosuke becomes angry and is restrained by Jun and Tomo, as the boy wants to eliminate the gang leader because he thinks they did indecent things to Carol. Then, Misuzu talks to the gang of criminals and she tells them that Tomo is the daughter of Goro Ishikawa, the strongest boy in the school in the past, which scares the gang because they know Goro's history and his dojo. She makes them swear that they will always protect Tomo and his friends, otherwise they would have to deal with Goro. Afterwards, Jun tells Misuzu that he finds it suspicious that she didn't do this earlier. The next day, Tomo waits for Jun and greets her friendly this time. As it turns out, Misuzu's plan worked, because Jun is behaving like before towards Tomo again. Kusuke enrolls in Tomo's father's dojo, as he would like to become stronger to protect Carol, but he is quite weak. The next day, Kusuke tells Carol that he has enrolled in Tomo's father's dojo, and she does not understand why, so he tells her that he wants to be like Tomo because she can defend anyone she wants. But Carol gets jealous because she realizes that Kusuke admires Tomo a lot. She wants to make Kusuke jealous and decides to spend time with Jun. Jun soon regrets it when she invites herself to his room. She tells him that her love life is a disaster because of Tomo, and when she gets to him, he runs off to Tomo's house. She immediately asks him what he is doing with Carol, but he only hugs her because he feels guilty about what he almost did with Carol. The next day, Carol tells Kusuke about her day with Jun. He is jealous, but doesn't show it, which makes Carol sad, so she tells Misuzu that everything is still the same with Kusuke. Meanwhile, Kusuke is still sad, so Misuzu goes to see him and asks him how he feels about Carol. He says he loves her, but Carol is out of his reach. She seems like a smiling angel, never losing her smile, and he is sure that if he ever leaves her life, she will not care. Misuzu can't believe that they are both so obtuse and can't see their feelings clearly, so she says she will take it upon herself to show him that Carol is human and has feelings, but Misuzu crosses the line and tells Carol that Kusuke said he has no feelings for her, which breaks the girl's heart. Misuzu realizes that she screwed up and runs to tell Kusuke what happened, so he immediately follows Carol. At Carol's house, his mother greets him with a headbutt and she tells him where Carol's room is. Kusuke finds the girl crying, and he immediately tells her that what Misuzu said was a lie. He explains to her that Misuzu was just helping him understand his feelings, and this calms Carol down. She tells him that she fell in love with him at first sight when they met as children, but when she wants to kiss him, her mother interrupts them. Carol's mother says her daughter doesn't show her feelings because once, when little Carol was crying, she told her that she was prettier when she smiled. And since then, Carol has never stopped smiling. Kusuke says he will never make her cry again, so she can keep smiling. On the day of the school marathon, Jun and Tomo are excited to compete and immediately take the lead, and Jun is happy to be able to compete against Tomo. Suddenly, however, the girl faints from exhaustion. It turns out that she ran for hours yesterday, and now she doesn't have the strength to continue the marathon. Jun freaks out and, not knowing how to help her, loads her on his back and runs to the end of the marathon. When Tomo wakes up in the school infirmary, the nurse assures her that he only has a cold. Misuzu tells Tomo that she should take advantage of the fact that she is sick to be clingy with Jun. The next day, Jun goes to Tomo's house to check on her, and she claims to be feeling fine. To Jun's surprise, she returns the Nintendo he gave her 10 years ago, saying that he has proven to be stronger than her, but that should not even think that he can beat her in other activities. Jun remembers the day he found out that Tomo was a girl, which was the day of the middle school ceremony. Jun was overjoyed to go to the same school as Tomo, but he was surprised to see her wearing a girl's uniform, and to make matters worse, in middle school, everyone thought they were a couple because they were always together, and he thought this gossip might make Tomo uncomfortable, so Jun gradually moved away from Tomo that year. Time passed and Misuzu realized what was happening. She went to talk to Jun to settle things once and for all, since it is obvious that he is not making any friends at school because he does not want to replace Tomo. And to her surprise, Jun asked her out, since he thought that if he had a girlfriend, the gossip would stop and he could be Tomo's best friend again. Those 2 days of dating were hell for Misuzu, because it was just like dating Tomo, with the difference that she did not feel even a little affection for Jun, so she gave up and painfully accepted that Tomo would eventually move away from her. Misuzu decided to end the dating charade, as she no longer needed it, but Jun beat her to it and broke up with her first, as he did not really enjoy spending time alone with her, and found the courage to apologize to Tomo for ignoring her all year. He explained that he moved away from her because he was afraid the gossip would make her uncomfortable, but she said she didn't care what others thought, they were friends. This moved Jun to tears, and he told her that he wanted to be by her side always. Meanwhile, Jun's birthday is approaching, and Tomo needs money to buy him a present, so she decides to get a part-time job. Misuzu and Carol join the idea. Tanabe reveals that family owns a restaurant, and they need help for a few days because her mother is away. The girls gladly accept the job, although Tomo feels uncomfortable wearing a waitress's dress. To make matters worse, Jun often eats at that restaurant, so he blushes when he sees how pretty Tomo looks in her maid's dress. After 3 days, Tanabe's father thanks them for their help and pays them their wages. To Tomo's surprise, Jun is waiting for her outside and takes her home. On Jun's birthday, Tomo gives him a watch and a cake, but he says that his parents are out, so they should go to his house to eat the cake. Tomo thinks that things have finally changed between them. Before, he didn't like to be alone with her at home. One day, Jun invites Tomo to dance at the campfire, and she accepts. As they dance, Tomo tells him that she understands that he invited her to dance because she is his friend, but maybe the others think he invited her for something else. To his surprise, Jun says they would not be wrong. Tomo leaves the dance, perhaps frightened by what might be the beginning of something new. Days pass and winter comes, but things have changed between Jun and Tomo. Now she feels very uncomfortable being around him because every time he tries to talk to her about something, she runs away. Carol and Misuzu suspect that something happened between them at the campfire, although Tomo denies it. Then Jun asks Kusuke for advice since he is dating Carol, and Kusuke tells him that he should be honest with Tomo and tell her his feelings. Jun leaves Tomo a letter challenging her to a duel on the roof, and she accepts without knowing that the letter is from Jun. Jun asks her to hit him, but Tomo does not understand why, so Jun confesses that when she confessed her feelings to him at the beginning of high school, he pretended not to understand her, which makes Tomo very angry, and she gives him what he wants, a punch in the face. But as she is about to leave, he confesses that he loves her too. Tomo blushes like a tomato, and she runs away telling him he is an idiot. Tomo tells the girls what happened, and she cannot believe that she has ruined everything and is confused. Then Misuzu takes courage and tells her that it was all her fault and apologizes by crying because it was not necessary for Tomo to act more feminine in front of Jun. Thanks to her, Tomo now has insecurities, but she thanks her for being her best friend, and this time Misuzu gives her one last piece of loving advice: to go to him and fix everything. Tomo runs out to find Jun, and she asks him for another chance. He tells her repeatedly that he loves her. Tomo thinks it's a dream, but she gets sad and asks him if they won't be best friends anymore, but he says he still wants their friendship. Tomo says that they will no longer be best friends, so Jun wants to show her that they can be. Suddenly he runs up the stairs to the temple, and she follows him and beats him up. Jun tells her that even if they are a couple, he still wants to compete with her because she is his childhood friend, his best friend, his rival, and the girl he loves. This confession moves Tomo, and she tells him that she loves him too, which makes Jun so happy that he faints. Days pass, and Jun is more relaxed now, but the problem is that he is very gentlemanly, so Carol suggests that Tomo kiss him, and Misuzu suggests that they watch a romantic movie so that he will take the first step to kiss her. During the winter break, Jun and Tomo meet at the movie theater, and he is surprised to see her because Tomo is very pretty. Tomo tells him that they are going to watch a romantic movie, but the movie has too many romantic scenes, so she can hardly watch the movie. After the movie, they go out to eat, and he tells her that he didn't feel like watching romantic movies before, but since they're together, he sees them differently, which makes Tomo blush, so he gives her a pair of beautiful earrings that fit her well, and she gives him a hand-knitted scarf. Tomo is a little disappointed because she did not get a kiss from him, so she tells Jun that they will go to his house, and he agrees. They are both nervous, but Jun wants to make things right, because he hasn't asked her to be his girlfriend yet. Jun says that after he confessed his love to her, he went to her house to ask for her parents' blessing. Her mother was overjoyed, but her father told him that if he wanted to go out with Tomo, he would have to beat him in a duel first. Tomo cannot believe what she hears, and she runs to his house to confront her father. She yells at him that she hates him for not allowing her to have a relationship with Jun. Tomo refuses to talk to anyone during the entire winter break from school. Jun tries to talk to Tomo, but she is still angry that he did not tell her that her father set this stupid condition. Her friends wonder if Jun will be able to beat her father, and Tomo is a bit pessimistic, but she thinks that maybe he will be able to beat her father in a few years. After school, Jun tells Tomo that he will challenge his father at the dojo today. Jun challenges Goro, and they fight hard, but Jun can't even hit him. Meanwhile, Tomo talks to Kusuke, and he tells her that Jun wants her in his life, and that he might feel more motivated if she encourages him in the fight. Tomo runs to the dojo, and she tells Jun that if he loses in the fight, she will take his place because they are a team. But Jun is not going to give up and realizes that Goro is testing him. Goro doesn't want his daughter to be with someone who cannot defend her, so Jun puts all his strength into one last punch and defeats Goro. Tomo starts jumping for joy, and although Goro can still fight, his wife beats him to leave the couple alone. Tomo wants to ask him to be her boyfriend, but Jun beats her to it and asks her to be his girlfriend. Suddenly, she kisses him and tells him that from now on, she will make his heart beat faster, and he agrees, and they embrace happily. If you like this video and would like to see more anime like this, please comment on this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next anime. Thanks for watching.